You hear people talk about the amount that NFL players are paid, and that they shouldn't be paid enough, or they shouldn't be paid what they are paid. But the thing is, they are the least paid of any professional sports athlete uh, in the country. They average 1.9 million uh, annual salary per year, compared to the Major League Baseball, which averages 2.3. Um, the length of an NFL career is much shorter than most other professional sports uh, careers. It is only 3 years, and most of the guys have not completed college yet. So one big thing is that I believe is that the NFL should pay, or should make it so that teams have to pay their players more. Um, One reason for this is because of the injuries that occur. Concussions are part of everyday life in the NFL. A force of a tackle in the NFL is about 1,600 pounds, and that can really do some damage. Sometimes it can even put over 100 G's on a force on the body, and at 125 G's of force, the body can, or you can get a concussion. Some of the most extreme NFL hits can create tackle or hits of 150 G's, and this is how most major brain injuries happen. This is from Popular Mechanics by Matt Higgins. The number of injuries per year is very high compared to the number of players in the NFL. There are 235 injuries so far this year that have put people on the injured reserve, which means that they're probably not going to play again this year. And that number is out of 1,600 players that are in the NFL. You never hear about the injuries that occur and happen to people on the practice squads, and each team has about 20 of those players. So, and they get about a tenth of what other football players get. And the injuries per week, it averages about 20. That's very high considering there are only 16 games a week. Some of the precautions the NFL should use are they should make funds for the players, for injured players. One of the major stories about the NFL today is the lawsuit against the NFL for hiding information about brain injuries. And they settled for $765 million. I got this from the New York Times. They settled for $765 million, and it covers players who have suffered a brain disease, it is also for families that have suffered a suicide from a former NFL player. That can be contributed to mental disorders caused by injuries from the NFL. They should also come up with an idea for some sort of insurance for the players, because as of now there's not any backup for a player if they get hurt. There's no backup fund to help them pay for medical costs and if it is a career-ending injury, then they most likely do not get paid the rest of their contract, depending on the team. Teams should look at how they need to train their players' bodies enough so that it gives them the best chance of not being injured during the season. Team doctors are usually told to err on the side of caution, but sometimes there are doctors that just send a person out back on the field when they probably shouldn't be playing, Um, After a football career, depending on injuries, some people can be very active and uh, still do things, but if they're not able to perform and either play in an arena football team, then sometimes they don't have a degree to become anything else besides a football player. So they have to live off what they made in the NFL a lot of the times. And you hear about them going broke all the time. This is why the NFL needs to come up with another way to reward players for the risk that they put themselves at when they perform for the U.S. and the globe when they are playing football.